Well, first action tonight now from the finals night of the Guinness Soccer Six, the competition going on since Sunday at the GMEX Centre in Manchester. And the 3 nights of action so far have given us 3 qualifiers to join tonight's seeded teams for the final stages. Qualifying from Sunday, Charlton Athletic. From Monday's competition, the First Division leaders, Norwich City. And then last night, the resurgent team of the First Division, West Ham United. Three qualifiers then to join the 3 seeded teams. The league champions Liverpool making their first appearance in the competition, the FA Cup holders Wimbledon and the Soccer Six champions Nottingham Forrest. 2 groups to produce the finalists. Our opening match comes from the first of those groups, Charlton against Liverpool, and John Motson is the commentator.
On their different roads to recovery, Bruce Grobbelaar and Jan Molby are in the starting lineup for Liverpool, along with Alex Watson and the captain Peter Beardsley. As for Charlton, already with 1 night's experience here, it's Bob Boulder, John Humphrey, Peter Shirtliff, Steve Gritt, Paul Mortimer and Carl Lieburn, the 19-year-old who scored some useful goals when they won their playoff. So how well will Peter Beardsley display his skills on this surface? Should suit him. Referee for this opening match of the night is Roger Dilks, and Liverpool in the familiar red are playing from the right, with Jan Molby getting his first touch. And number 3 there is John Jeffers. It was played back by Durnin to Molby. Durnin again. Jeffers, number 3. Beardsley to his right. Jeffers shot. Humphrey got in the way. Slimline Molby. The block was by Shirtliff. Charlton in the all-grey, Lieburn number 10. John Jeffers is 20 years old, local lad. As indeed have 5 of the Liverpool squad tonight come through the ranks at Anfield. It's the first time Liverpool have played in this Soccer Six, so we'll see how well they adjust. Here's Beardsley. Well, Shirtliff can't play the ball back to his goalkeeper. That's forbidden if you've received it from him. If you play the ball directly back to your keeper, then you go into the sin bin. And the other rules, including the 6th man rule, you must leave a player in the opposing half of the field at all times. Here's Beardsley. Durnin, who was on loan to West Bromwich Albion a little while ago, scored a couple of goals there. John Durnin. This is Beardsley. And Charlton with Paul Mortimer. That was a free kick against Jan Molby for obstructing Paul Mortimer. Number 2 is Humphrey, and number 6 is Steve Gritt. Mortimer. Gritt again. He's got Lieburn in the middle, number 10. Bruce Grobbelaar out. Alex Watson defending well for Liverpool. Now it's Beardsley. Durnin, the man up front, and he's got past Shirtliff, he's got past Boulder. Still John Durnin. Shirtliff with the tackle, won back by Beardsley. This is Durnin. Beardsley again. Molby's just behind him. The 2 experienced players combining for Liverpool. Here's Beardsley again. Charlton have pulled as many players back as they're allowed. This is Durnin. They must leave 1 in the other half. Molby. Jeffers. Back to Molby. Jan Molby has scored. Well, that's an impressive start to his comeback in the public eye. The Liverpool substitutes watching as Jan Molby opens the scoring here. He certainly lost some weight, and he looked sharp there when he drove that left foot shot inside Bob Boulder's near post to give Liverpool the lead. Shirtliff for Charlton. Watson for Liverpool. Durnin, nice turn. Foul by Grit. So a good start here for the First Division champions. Here's the goal scorer. Beardsley. That was a good effort as well. That's Lenny Lawrence's team here, a goal behind and very much on the defensive as Steve Gritt gets a foot to that. Mulby again, into Durnin. Beardsley just behind him. Durnin again. And Jeffers with the shot. Good save by Boulder. Well, Liverpool have started here as though they mean business. This is Beardsley. Durnin in the middle. And John Humphrey for Charlton. Well won back by Mulby. Back heel to Durnin. Beardsley. There's no restriction on head height, as there might have been in the old five-a-side football. As long as the ball stays within the playing area, you just carry on. This is Jan Mulby. And you can use the boards to good effect, playing a wall pass to get by an opponent. John Jeffers on the far side. Beardsley. Don't think the ball's been out of the Liverpool possession for more than a few seconds so far. They've controlled the game right from the start. And Paul Mortimer will be penalised, will he? Yes. Mulby was the man who was fouled. Charlton have made a quick substitution. Andy Peake has come on, wearing number 9 for Charlton. There's Mulby for Liverpool, and here's Peter Beardsley. Durnin waiting in the centre. That was Peake. Ronnie Moran there with the Liverpool team tonight. And here's Beardsley. And Charlton having to defend pretty desperately in this opening half. One behind. Here's Mortimer for them. Lee Burns up front. Jeffers intercepts. And Grobbelaar with a very intelligent throw. That really has put John Durnin away here for Liverpool. Bob Boulder called into action again. 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Liverpool lead Charlton by 1-0. And they brought on Mick Marsh, number 9 of Liverpool, a 19-year-old in place of Jeffers. This is Lee Burn for Charlton. Beardsley for Liverpool. Here's Mulby. Marsh has gone to his left. And Durnin on the far side. That's a good goal again. And Liverpool here have taken over. John Durnin scored that one. And well created by Jan Mulby. Just look at the space. And Durnin's finish, so assured. Mulby has scored one and made one. And Liverpool lead by 2-0. 2 minutes left in the first half, and Charlton suddenly getting an education. In line, Michael Bennett coming on as a sub. Now Lee Burn. Don't forget, the managers can put their subs on at any time they want. There's a squad of 10. Number 4 there is David Campbell for Charlton, but he's missed out. And Durnin's through again against Bob Boulder. And Liverpool go 3-up. Well, they're well pleased down there. And John Durnin, now back at Anfield after his loan to the Hawthorns, slides his second goal past the Charlton keeper Bob Boulder. Excellent finishing. Liverpool lead by 3-0. Now what are Charlton going to do about this? Peake across to Lee Burn. Here's a chance. Oh. Corner will be given. Lenny Lawrence's side was so impressive when they won the first playoff here on Sunday night, but having started here against the seeded team, Liverpool, they suddenly find themselves 3 goals down, and we still haven't reached half-time. David Campbell will take the corner for Charlton. They've got young Peter Evans on now, Charlton. That was his pass to Peake. And Grobbelaar's down there to save. First from Peake and then from Bennett. Alex Watson, Dave Watson's brother. Mike Marsh on the far side. A minute left in the first half, and that was a risky pass by David Campbell. Here's Peter Shirtliff for Charlton. Well, a whirlwind start here by Liverpool. One or two of the players may be unfamiliar to the nation at large, but they've obviously learned their trade with these small-sided games at the training ground at Melwood. Charlton on the attack for the moment. This is Shirtliff. Well played. Campbell now for Charlton. And there's one back, surely. Yes, Michael Bennett. Put away by 19-year-old Michael Bennett for Charlton. Campbell really used the boards well, and Bennett slid it in to make it 3-1. And Liverpool have brought on 19-year-old Charlie Boyd, wearing number 4. The midfield player, Beardsley nearly in on that. Lots of money at stake tonight in this prestigious tournament, with over £250,000 at stake overall, and Liverpool have come determined, it would seem, to win first prize, because at half-time in this opening group match, Ronnie Moran's team lead Charlton by 3-1. It's often said in football circles that Liverpool's training consists of lots of small-sided games, and that would appear to be genuinely valuable when it comes to a competition like this. Charlie Boyd, number 4, getting Marsh on his way here for Liverpool. Boyd again. Mulvey's up front. Here's Marsh. Back again to Boyd. Mulvey. And Marsh. Gets it back from Beardsley, and Liverpool, as they would normally, keeping possession, passing the ball sensibly, not giving Charlton very much space to win it back, but they might now. This is Peter Evans. Came off Alex Watson. And Watson again. Now then, did a Liverpool player come back into his own half there? I rather think that Mike Marsh is the offender. You must leave a player in the opposing half. And to the sin bin goes 19-year-old Mick Marsh for 2 minutes. Paul Mortimer. And Charlton beginning to settle a bit now. This is Grit. Oh, and Humphrey with a chance. It's a goal. Well, that 3-goal lead has been reduced to 1, and John Humphrey is the scorer for Charlton. Bruce Grobbelaar unable to cover the near post area there. It was Stevie Grit with the shot, and in it went from Humphrey. So Charlton stage a recovery, having been overwhelmed by the way Liverpool opened and going 3-0 down. They're back now thanks to that goal to 3-2. Liverpool still waiting to get their suspended player back on the surface. For the time being, it's John Humphrey again for Charlton. Lee Burns there. Oof, good job, Grobbelaar stopped that, because Steve Grit was waiting to equalise. Here's Peter Shirtliff. We're into the last 5 minutes. It's a really good match. Lee Burn. Away by Watson. Lee Burn again. Liverpool will be back to full strength any second. Lee Burn again. And Mortimer. And Lee Burn. And a deflection. I think it was off Alex Watson. It's 3-3, and Charlton are back in business. Alex Watson really couldn't do much about that. Lee Burn has the shot, and I think it's got to be an own goal. I think you'll find that when Lee Burn hits this, it wasn't actually necessarily going to go in, but Watson's deflection took it wide of Grobbelaar. It's an own goal, and in this opening match, it's 3 goals apiece after Liverpool had led 3-0. Entertaining stuff here. Liverpool have brought on number 2, Nick Tanner, but for the moment it's Steve Grit away for Charlton and Lee Burn. And Grit! Oh, it's 4-3! Would you believe this? The South London boys have staged a quite astonishing comeback. And from 3-0 down, they're now in the lead. This is Lee Burn again, and Stevie Grit, the experienced player, tucks the ball in the net, and there's no stopping Charlton. This is Humphrey. We've still got nearly 4 minutes to go. Goodness knows what the score's going to be at the finish of this one. But it's very much what Soccer 6 should be about. And Lenny Lawrence and Mike Flanagan down there must have thought their team were dead and buried at one stage in the first half. Now they've scored 4 times, and Watson for Liverpool tries to set John Durnin away. They're now looking for the equaliser. Tanner, the blonde lad, defender. But they don't want people defending at the moment, Liverpool, and Morby's got caught there. Leeburn to Grit. Peter Beardsley away from Mortimer. Durnin's in the centre. It's still Beardsley, and Bob Boulder's there. Bob Boulder, a former Liverpool goalkeeper, by the way, playing against the club that he used to be with when he was the understudy to Grobbelaar for a while. This is Molby. So it'll mean a lot to Bob Boulder and to Lenny Lawrence if Charlton can hold on to this lead. Tanner for Liverpool. Durnin. It's a tiring game, and they need the breather. That is David Campbell. This is Mortimer. Ball. Campbell and Mortimer combining. Mortimer's shot against the plexiglass. Campbell! David Campbell, the Northern Ireland international, used to be with Nottingham Forrest, now very much with Charlton. And look at this, the plexiglass presenting him with the chance of the rebound. 5-3 to Charlton. John Humphrey. And the way this game was conceived, Soccer 6, this is exactly what really entertains the crowd. And there's another one for Campbell on Grobbelaar. I think Grobbelaar will have to call that an own goal. He was unlucky. They can't believe it down there. David Campbell is the Charlton player who gets their touch here, but look at this, off the boards, own goal Grobbelaar. So 2 own goals here by Liverpool, and it's 6-3 to Charlton after Liverpool had led 3-0. Poor old Bruce. Durnin for Liverpool. They've brought on their number 8, Jim Magilton, have Liverpool, who's a 19-year-old Irish lad, a midfield player. This is Tanner. Another new name. Beardsley. Durnin. Oh, could have had the hat-trick and missed it. Tanner. You can't take your eyes off this match. Tanner again. We're approaching the last 10 seconds. I think it's pretty fair to say Charlton have won it in quite amazing circumstances. Lenny Lawrence and Mike Flanagan down there will be absolutely thrilled to bits. What about that? The league champions Liverpool, their first experience of Soccer 6. They must have thought it was easy when they led 3-0, but they reckoned without Stevie Grit and Charlton. That's a fabulous comeback. A really good game for the crowd to enjoy. And would you believe the final score? Liverpool 3, Charlton Athletic 6.
Astonishing fight-back victory for Charlton, and a win in their next match would put them in the final. That next match was against West Ham.
Well, one of the prices that West Ham had to pay for their victory in the playoff last night was that veteran goalkeeper Phil Parkes was injured, got a cut in his elbow in one of the early matches, so Alan McKnight takes over in goal. The rest of the starting lineup: Potts, Gale, Ince, Kelly and Keane. And Charlton, after that marvellous match against Liverpool, have every reason to feel confident, and they're starting with Boulder, Humphrey, Shirtliff, Grit, Mortimer and Leeburn. Alan Flood is the referee. West Ham in claret and blue. Playoff winners last night. They've stayed up, obviously, in Manchester for the last 24 hours to take part in the finals. And here for them is Tony Gale. Bob Boulder behind it. Well, Charlton must be oozing with confidence after scoring 6 times against Liverpool from a position of 3-0 down. And they've begun by just pushing the ball about and finding space on the far side with Shirtliff. Leeburn, it's a goal. Straight through Alan McKnight from Carl Leeburn. This tall 19-year-old who Charlton picked up from the Lewisham area, right on their old doorstep, as it were, South East London, tucked that ball underneath Alan McKnight. Here's Ince. Gale. Oh, penalty. Shirtliff on Gale. A smile on the face of Peter Shirtliff, but there's no question the referee was right, as I think you'll see from this. Tony Gale was definitely brought down. Kevin Keane to take the penalty against Bob Boulder. Equalises. 1-1. And West Ham pull things round in this London derby. Beautifully struck. One each. Four minutes left in the half. Here's Steve Gritt. And now it's Lieber. I was talking to Michael Norris, the Charlton chairman, before this evening's entertainment started, and there's a lot of talk of them still going back to play in the borough where they really belong, down there in Greenwich. But for the moment, in this indoor game, they're level with West Ham. Paris, George Paris, who's just come on. And also for West Ham now, Julian Dix, wearing 5, is on the surface. There he is. Not quite. Interception was by John Humphrey. He's got Lieburn to his right and Bennett to his left. Steve Gritt coming short. So is Shirtliff here. Michael Bennett still there. Shirtliff looked for Lieburn instead. And here's a break. 2 against 1. Good chance for West Ham. They're clean through. Steve Potts. Oh! Well, I think that was a defender finding himself in a forwards position. Steve Potts getting right underneath it. It was a very good opening for West Ham, that. And a let-off for Charlton. Charlton, of course, play at Selhurst Park these days, sharing with Crystal Palace, but I know that the club's real supporters still feel they belong back in the Greenwich area, where, of course, they did used to occupy the valley. Number 6 there is George Paris for West Ham. And number 9 for Charlton is Andy Peake. Humphrey. Oh, he went all the way there, John Humphrey. He's been a most effective player here for Lenny Lawrence and Mike Flanagan. John Humphrey has scored 3 goals, even though he's normally a fullback. He's acquainted himself well with this indoor football, and he's got the finishing touch. 2-1 to Charlton. So Alan McKnight, who's come in to replace Phil Parkes tonight in goal for West Ham, has been beaten twice. Bob Boulder, meantime, clears his lines. Now then, that ball went from 1/3 to the other without bouncing or touching another player. That's what they call the 3-line rule. And it has to be a free kick, indirect, to West Ham. This is Dix. Gale. And Ince. Oh, good clearance by Peake. Just bear in mind, if the ball is played from 1/3 to the other, it has to either touch the surface or another player on the way through. And Boulder's kick there didn't. Here's Ince. Charlton do cover well back there. They've learned a few lessons playing here this week. West Ham have come back once. Can they come back again? And this is Campbell for Charlton. Peter Evans is in the attack as well. Here's Michael Bennett. Campbell. Bennett! Goal! Well, there's no stopping Charlton, is there? They really have adapted to this sort of football. And here, Bennett starts the move. It goes to Campbell. That's good use of the plexiglass. And Bennett's on hand to tuck that one in off the post and put Charlton into another commanding position. 3-1, and we're in the last minute of the first half. And if it stays like this, in Charlton's favour, then they would qualify for tonight's overall final. Here's Ince for West Ham. What can they do about it? That's what they can do. Exactly that. Paul Ince. Smashing finish. Bob Boulder well beaten. That's good, close skill, and what a good strike there as he fell backwards from Paul Ince. 3-2. Andy Peake. David Campbell making a run across here, number 4. Michael Bennett inside to Paul Mortimer. Oh, it's opening up for Mortimer. Oh, and can they do it? They can. It's David Campbell, and Charlton are too clear again. An easy goal in the end for Campbell, because Mortimer's shot, after he got past Potts, squeezed it past the goalkeeper, and Campbell only had to just steer that into the unguarded net. 4-2 to Charlton. Here's George Paris for West Ham. Keane, Paris. Well, I don't know if Charlton are going to create some kind of scoring record tonight. 6 against Liverpool, 4 against West Ham. And here's Michael Bennett, who's trying to make it 5. And he has! It's raining goals here. And most of them are coming from Charlton Athletic. Bennett broke away there from all the defenders and finished in style. It was Paul Ince who tried to hold him off and couldn't. And that really is powerful finishing by 19-year-old Michael Bennett. We've still got 5.5 minutes left, and it's 5-2 to Charlton. Leeburn's back on the surface. Here's Humphrey. Shirtliff. Well, can Charlton now equal their score against Liverpool? That's the question. It's called Soccer 6. Here's Humphrey. For sure, it's going to be a minor miracle if West Ham get back into this. And this result, if Charlton hold the lead, would also eliminate Liverpool, by the way. Here's Julian Dix for West Ham. They've got 3.5 minutes to make up the leeway. Foul on David Kelly by David Campbell. So what can West Ham create from this? Dix. Charlton have made a substitution. This is Ince. In fact, it was Andy Peake who came hurrying on there to help defend. This is Dix. For is Gale. Oh, that was Keane's shot. Well dealt with by Bob Boulder. Got down quickly. Back again to Gale. Into Kelly. Boulder comes all the way out. And Charlton can break possibly here. Oh, spot of blocking on the boards maybe. Referee lets play go on. Here's Dix. Shut. Well, Mike Flanagan there, a former Charlton player, now the club coach. 2.5 minutes to go. The score is 5-2 to Charlton, and Carl Leeburn here with backup from Humphrey. Leeburn again, they've got a man over if they can find him. It's Shirtliff. And that is number 6. Well, I didn't know that Charlton were going to take the title of the competition this literally. 6 against Liverpool, and now 6 against West Ham. Peter Shirtliff, the captain, got this one. And a nice tidy finish it was too, inside the near post.
And it finished 6-2 to Charlton. Charlton into the final. The West Ham-Liverpool match was of no consequence, but just for the record, West Ham won it 3-0. Now for the other group, Forest, the defending champions, Wimbledon, the FA Cup holders, and the league leaders, Norwich. First match, Forest against Wimbledon, and Tony Gubber is the commentator.
Nottingham Forest are not only the defending Soccer 6 champions, they also won an international Soccer 6 played in Australia in the summer. So plenty of experience at this particular game, and their starting 6 for their first match in Group H is Sutton, Pearce, Walker, Wassell, Carr and Webb. And their likewise seeded opponents, FA Cup holders Wimbledon, their starting 6 is Seggers, Young, Scales, Wise, Jones and Gibson. Joe Worrell, the referee, Nottingham Forest in red shirts, who kick off, and it will be interesting to see how Wimbledon approach this tournament compared to Nottingham Forest, really the babes of this sort of football. That's Stuart Pearce, Nottingham Forest captain, who likes a shot from long range on the big field and the small one. Terry Gibson, recent acquisition from Manchester United by Wimbledon. Oh, a little slip by Walker. Let's see Gibson. Phelan. Keith Curl. Gibson trying to play it off the boards. Neil Webb. That might fall for Pearce. Gibson. Quick interception was by Des Walker. Pearce. He's going to have a shot here. You can see it coming and it's gone in. Well, he likes to shoot from long range. And that shows the worth of it. It looked as though Sagers had got it, but it somehow got through his grasp and crept in at the foot of the post. Forrest ahead 1-0. Liam O'Kane and Ronnie Fenton, they're together in charge of Nottingham Forest tonight. Will be happy with the scoreline that sees their side ahead 1-0 with less than 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. And Roger Joseph back to his keeper. Benny Jones and John Scales. Neil Webb having a breather. Jones. Don't think Wimbledon have quite come to terms with Soccer 6 at the moment. And the use of the boards, which other teams, notably West Ham that we've seen in earlier evenings, and Charlton as well perhaps, have really mastered. And Norwich. Tommy Gaynor, wearing number 6, has come on from Nottingham Forest. That's his shot, and it's finally in from Franz Carr, and that came about as a result of another long-range shot from Stuart Pearce. An absolute cracker. Came back off the boards to this man, Tommy Gaynor. His shot back off the boards again. Franz Carr, 2-0. Roger Joseph off the boards and casually nicked away by Walker. And the kick-in will be by Wimbledon. 29 seconds to play. Franz Carr. This is Walker, and 9 is Terry Wilson. Oh, he's lost possession to Scales. Just a bit too wide of Dennis Wise, wasn't it, for the first-time shot? Oh, good play by the little player. Oh, good control. And the first half, wholly satisfactory to the defending champions, Liam O'Kane. With the substitutes, first half that ends Nottingham Forest ahead by 2-0. Wimbledon start the second half. Currently struggling a little bit in the first division. And struggling here in their first experience of Soccer 6, down 2-0 at half-time. Joe Worrell gives Nottingham Forest the free kick. Walker. And to is Gary Fleming. Forward by Terry Wilson to Fleming. And just looking at Forest's lineup at the start of the second half, there's probably a reasonable interpretation is that with a 2-0 lead, they've pulled off the more senior players and given everybody in the squad a run out at the start of this second half. Oh, he's let it run along the boards. Well done, Tommy Gaynor. Just one defender too many for Gaynor. Vinnie Jones popping up on the left. Scales, number 5. And Pearce back on. This is Gaynor. Joined Nottingham Forest just before Soccer 6 last year. Oh, it's in! Pearce again, the long-range shooting, and how valuable that has proved here tonight for Nottingham Forest. All 3 of the goals have come from the long-range shots of Stuart Pearce. Well, that one will disappoint Sagers. Got a touch to it, but could only guide it onto the post and into the net.
Stand up, Des. Stand there, Des. You're all right.
Well, less than 5 minutes for Wimbledon to get onto the score sheet.
Behind you, here. Hey!
And a defeat in the first match in the groups is, well, tantamount to a quick goodbye, because it really means that you're waiting for the efforts of others to give you any chance at all of reaching the final. And I suppose you can make a small contribution by scoring, and Mark Fiore has done that. Young Wimbledon player holds off the challenge of Walker and beats Sutton. So, score now, Forest 3, Wimbledon 1. Powerful run by Terry Phelan. Wise. Vinnie Jones from long range. Young. It's Roger Joseph, rather. Oh, that was... well, two players together there, Stuart Pearce and Vinnie Jones, and if they were clashing, you wouldn't want to be in between them, would you? Gibson, and blocked by Walker. Well, we saw Charlton come back from 3 goals down, and a little spell of pressure here from Wimbledon. Just over 2.5 minutes left to play.
Push, push.
Jones. Oh, a brilliant save by Sutton. Good a save as we've seen.
Come on, Des.
Gibson. And Franz Carr has come back on. Couldn't come out of the half, so Phelan stole it. Pearce. Webb as Wimbledon make a substitution. This is Franz Carr for Forest. 2 minutes left. Still 3-1, Nottingham Forest. Good play, Franz Carr. He's got support in the middle. Neil Webb just could wrap it up. Oh, brilliant. That was quality, wasn't it? The little shimmy made the keeper commit himself, and then when he'd lain down, thank you very much. Franz Carr's persistence on the wing, set up Webb, and look at this. Thank you, and then the keeper's down. 4-1.
And 4-1 to Forest, the final score. Wimbledon really needing to improve their form in their next match against Norwich City, a side that had qualified in some style.
First division leaders Norwich City scored 13 goals when they won Monday night's tournament and looked most impressive indeed. And their starting lineup for their first appearance in the grand finals night is Sheffield, Culverhouse, Townsend, Cook, Fleck and Trevor Putney, the captain. Well, Wimbledon face a relegation battle in Division 1 and the possibility of an early exit in Soccer 6, having lost the first match 4-1 to Nottingham Forest. They have to win this second game, and they start with Sagers, Young, Scales, Wise, Jones and Gibson. So it's the current leaders of Division 1, Norwich City, 2 points clear against the FA Cup holders Wimbledon. And Norwich in their familiar colours, attacking the goal to the right. And number 4 for them is Andy Townsend, and that's the captain Putney. Cook across to Culverhouse. Fleck neatly inside to Townsend. Won their first match on Monday, 4-2, and their second 4-0 Norwich City, and they might score here early on. Shot was by Townsend.
Medal.
And 6 is Dennis Wise, getting it back to his keeper, Hans Sagers. Gibson. And Norwich have just brought on their number 7, Rule Fox. Here he is, immediately involved. He was player of the night on Monday. Crook. And Cook. Rule Fox. Kept possession for a while, Norwich. They tried to work an opening, but Wimbledon have got all 4 of their defenders back. And that one is Roger Joseph. 4 is Keith Curl. Mr. Phelan. Off the boards for Gibson. Neither of these teams has yet really fashioned what you'd call a vintage opening. made a substitution that just momentarily left them a defender short. They're up to full strength now. This is Roger Joseph, 23-year-old London boy, supported by Mark Fiore, who got Wimbledon's goal in that match against Nottingham Forrest. 2 minutes to go to half-time. And Mark Fiore, number 10 on the boards. Terry Phelan. And Roger Joseph. Gibson. There's several players in the Wimbledon team, Joseph, who came into the league from non-league football. It's Fiore. Phelan, header, we haven't seen many of those. Gibson was there. Phelan takes credit as well. The little header, you can head a goal in Soccer 6. Fiore, who squeezed it across the boards and away from John Sheffield. Phelan's header, Gibson's goal, 1-0. John Scales has come on, wearing number 5 for Wimbledon, immediately after that goal had been scored. And 4 is Keith Curl. Scales is on the far side. This is Gibson looking for number 2. Oh, good shot. Well, the keeper was probably unsighted because he had 2 players immediately in front of him. One was Scales and one was his own captain, Trevor Putney, and it went through the lot of them. 2-0. Rule Fox. Crook. Well, Norwich City played so well on Monday night that even 2-0 down, you wouldn't write them off. And number 8, Malcolm Allen, has come on for Norwich City. This is him. 10 is Crook. That might come back off the boards for someone. Big Eric Young. Off the plexiglass and safely gathered by Sagers. And there's a chance of a break here for Wimbledon. Norwich have only got Mark Bowen back in defence. This is Gibson. And the defender did well. Well, a highly satisfactory first half for Wimbledon, and this man, Terry Gibson, has given his side a very useful 2-0 lead at half-time. Wimbledon start the second half, 7.5 minutes to play. And if they can hold on to this 2-0 lead, or in any way get a victory against Norwich City, it will make the final game in Group H the all-important decider. 9 is Trevor Putney for Norwich City. Fox on neat turn. Good ball through to Allen. And that's the way to start the second half. Pull one back straight away. Putney the captain. Then a quick little turn by number 7, Rule Fox. Look, he drags that around. Toe pokes it through to Malcolm Allen. And that's the first one back. Fox. He's a lively, elusive little character, isn't he? Putney! Good block, Sagers. And Joseph penalised for the shoulder-to-shoulder on the boards. Free kick will be to Norwich City. Shot was by Townsend. And quickly cut out by him. There were 2 balls on the pitch for the second. Let's hope they keep playing with the right one. This is Phelan. Gibson wide, can hit it first time. Oh, Phelan tries to hit it again. Well, the final touch might well have come from the keeper. David Kemp there with Vinnie Jones with the reserves. Kick by Gibson, and that's an own goal. Trevor Putney, Norwich's captain. Well, the corner kick by Gibson, he rolled it right along the boards, and it was off the knees of the captain. Norwich trailing again Now 3-1. Scales. Dispossessed by Bowen. He's got plenty of support. Rule Fox. And that's in under the keeper. What a crucial player he is, isn't he, Rule Fox? Joined Norwich as an amateur. He's only 20. He was a star on Monday. He's already got several goals from Monday night, and now gives Norwich a glimmer. Gibson battling well. Dennis Wise. Scales. Keith Curl. Just over 5 minutes left to play in this highly competitive match. And Fox felt that he was pushed. Oh, dispossessed there, Eric Young. He's trying to pull Fleck back. And the Wimbledon man has made amends. Bowen. Well, it's quite physical, this game, not in a too serious a fashion, but they're going at it. Billy Jones giving his shouts of encouragement. And that's another free kick. I think we've seen as many free kicks in this match as in any two put together. Well cut out. Bowen. Only as far as Scales, though. This is Fiore. 9 is Gibson. Townsend. Only Fleck ahead of him. Here he is. Crook. And Paul Cook. Well cut out by Eric Young. Gibson. Scales has made a run up the middle. There he is. Well, a draw for Norwich City wouldn't be a disaster, because they would then have to play their final match against Nottingham Forrest, knowing that a win there would put them through. So there are 3.5 minutes left. They trail by 1 goal, the difference in a 3-2 scoreline. And in possession through Robert Fleck, signed from Glasgow Rangers. Townsend. Cook. Well blocked, Eric Young, and now Vinnie Jones can break quickly for Wimbledon. Looks back over his shoulder, finds Gibson. Chance here, Fiore. Phelan. Fiore, that's it. Mark Fiore. Shouts of encouragement from David Kemp. And it's 4-2 to Wimbledon.
4-2 to Wimbledon it finished, their first victory in the competition, but it still means technically they won't make it to the final. However, a good win for Norwich against Forest would put them through. The other issue, a win or a draw for Forest, and they would face Charlton in the final. Norwich against Forest then, start of the second half, no score.
Norwich City start the second half of their final match against Nottingham Forest. Score sheet blank after the first 7.5 minutes. And Norwich, First Division leaders, well aware that they've got to score 3 goals against Forest to qualify for the final. A draw will be good enough for the defending Soccer 6 champions. This is Rule Fox. Oh, good shot. Mark Bowen. That's the closest we've come to a goal in what's been quite a cagey affair. Good football, but no real opportunities. Here's Wilson from a long way out. Webb! That's... oh! The ball came back off the boards, really inviting for Neil Webb, but the shot turned over the bar. And John Sheffield happy to drop on it. And there's Stuart Pearce. Put in a lot of effort in the first half, Pearce, without Forrest getting a goal. 3 is Mark Bowen, and 2 is Culverhouse. Bowen again. Allen. Fox. The 2 players shouting their displeasure to each other. It's a little bit crowded, and that surely is a free kick. Just over 6 minutes left on the clock. Final match in Group H. Wassell along the boards to Terry Wilson. A nice ball forward. Here's Carr. Culverhouse in front of him. And brings a fine save from 19-year-old John Sheffield. Will Fox. He's got an opening here. And Webb, who was back to block. Fox. Teeing it up for Putney. Cut out by Ian Culverhouse. Allen. And again, Des Walker, such an influential figure in defence for Nottingham Forest. Both in the full-scale football game and in Soccer 6 as well. Now, Rule Fox. Allen with a real opportunity. And that was saved by, I think it was the chin of Steve Sutton. And punched away. Good, busy goalkeeping. Webb. Forward to Carr. Just Culverhouse to beat, and then the keeper. But Culverhouse has just done enough, hasn't he? Kept him at bay for long enough. Allowed Norwich City to get back in numbers and defend. Fleck. For Townsend. Back to Fleck. Off the boards. Well, that one almost got by Sutton. Walker. For Franz Carr, that's a good ball, and Sheffield's come a long way out of his goal. And hoisted into the crowd in the G-Mix. Play waved on. Fleck. Culverhouse. Trying to find Allen. Set up, was it for Cook? Culverhouse. And who put it over the boards? Well, there's Walker again. Oh! Well, Allen couldn't step into the shifty zone. It hung tantalisingly, didn't it? 3 minutes left, and Franz Carr away now. And he's got Webb in support. They've got to score here. Yes. Well played, Franz Carr. And Liam O'Kane and the Nottingham Forest substitutes. Delighted with that. Cheeky, wasn't it? Didn't go for goal first time. Rebound off the boards, 1-0 Forest. Oh, quickly in. Brian Laws, wearing 10, just come on. Gainer! Well, Tommy Gaynor so close to making it 2-0. Crook. Again, Sutton saves. Oh, that's gone all the way through to Tommy Gaynor. Just got Sheffield to beat. Bit of a tangle, and nothing to come from it. Ian Crook. Inside the last minute. Fleck. Laws for Pearce. Gaynor. Still with Pearce. Off the boards for Brian Laws. One of the few players in this Forest squad who've done a lot of travelling in their football careers. Inside the last 10 seconds. And it's a tidy performance by Nottingham Forest. And a tidy display of goalkeeping too by Steve Sutton. If you're going to have success in Soccer 6, your goalkeeper's got to be on song. And Sutton did enough there to show that he is. So Forest win the group and go through to the final, where they will meet Charlton Athletic.
It's going to be an interesting final too, isn't it? We'll be back for that very shortly. But first we're going to take a look at some sporting action around the world. Starting in Japan, the Fukuoka Marathon. 12 foreign runners in a field of 110. But it comes down to world record holder Denisimo of Ethiopia against the unknown Shibutani of Japan. The Ethiopian there guided onto the wrong route. So Japan leads into the stadium. But Denisimo forges back ahead. But this is a bit more like the last lap of an 800 metres, and urged on by the crowd, Shibutani sprints past the world record holder for a famous victory. And an emotional celebration, the other side of the finish line. Winning time, 2 hours, 11 minutes and 4 seconds. New York, Becker against Lendl, the Grand Prix final. Billed as the heavyweight championship of tennis and living up to the billing. It's 2 sets apiece. They've been on court 4 hours and 40 minutes. Final set tie-break. Becker is on match point. Coming towards the end of a tense, nail-biting final rally of 37 strokes. Which finishes with Becker the winner, his first major triumph since Wimbledon 2 years ago, and some lucky spectator gets the racket. The Australian rugby union tourists are now in Italy. The form of David Campese continues to travel well. Here's perhaps the best of his 3 tries in a 55-6 victory over Italy in Rome. But while Campese was in sparkling form, so was Michael Liner, 23 points to equal his own test record. Now here's a man who doesn't really know what he's in for. Martin Navarrete, about to referee Sunday's Spanish League game, Real Madrid against Atletico. Starting well for Real, Llorente heading home Gordillo's corner. The match played at the Bernabeu Stadium, and last season Atletico won this fixture 4-0, which was maybe part of the background of the ugly scenes to come. But before that, an equaliser for Atletico, managed, of course, these days by Ron Atkinson. Futre on the break, beats Paco Bayo, the Real goalkeeper, once, then has to do it again to provide the equaliser for Sanchez. So 1 apiece, and watching the replay, keep an eye on Bayo, the goalkeeper, already 1, maybe 2 attempts to foul his man before the goal is scored, and that's significant in what comes later. Second half, and with tempers rising, coming up a foul by Tendillo on Futre. And other players very swift to get involved. Four names were already in the referee's book by now. Tendillo is about to be sent off, and today he received a 1-match suspension and a $600 fine for that foul. But now it's Atletico defender Orwela tangling with the Real goalkeeper Bayo and fouled by Bayo. Bayo persuades himself he's injured, an injury that gets dramatically worse as the Atletico players crowd round. So the match rapidly getting out of control. Surprisingly, it's Orwela who's sent off, and he was completely exonerated in today's inquiry. Not so the Real goalkeeper. He leaves his penalty area again to commit another foul on Manolo. Booking for Bayo here, and today the Spanish authorities opened a separate inquiry into what they call his unsporting behaviour throughout the match. In between times, Bent Schuster goes off with a broken nose, and then against the run of play and all sense of justice, a Real winner in the last minute scored by Vasquez. And to complete the afternoon, Futre was sent off for protesting the goal. 3 sendings off, 11 bookings. Oh, and a riot broke out in the crowd, and they talk about the English disease. Ron Atkinson getting a fiery baptism into Spanish soccer. Now racing, the reigning champion national hunt trainer David Ellsworth was up before the Jockey Club today after administering a banned substance to his chaser Cavi's Clown in November. As Julian Wilson reports, Ellsworth escaped a ban but received one of the heaviest fines in racing history, £17,500.
Ellsworth admitted treating Cavi's Clown with an anabolic steroid like this on November the 18th. It's a treatment favoured by trainers to encourage geldings to feed better and thus increase body bulk. But the Jockey Club recommend that such treatment is discontinued at least 42 days before a horse races. Cavi's Clown showed no trace of anabolic steroids when he won the SGB handicap chase at Ascot on December the 19th, just 31 days after the treatment. He was tested automatically after the race and came up negative. His next race was the Mandarin handicap chase at Newbury 2 weeks later. Cavi's Clown won by 30 lengths, but his dope test came up positive this time for anabolic steroids. It was the same at Wincanton 12 days later. Cavi's Clown made all the running to beat 10 plus by 6 lengths. Again, the dope test came up positive. And then, 16 days later, he went to Cheltenham for the Charterhouse Mercantile Chase. This time, he won again by 30 lengths. Again, the dope test had a positive result.
Cavi's Clown storms up to the line. He's still got those lovely little ears pricked. He's really enjoyed himself once again. Despite the testing conditions, he's won it well. He's not going to be a big prize for the Gold Cup now.
Ellsworth stated in evidence that the horse received no treatment between November the 18th and the end of January, so the legacy of the drug was a complete mystery. The inquiry lasted almost 8 hours. The stewards, headed by Lord Vestey, found that Ellsworth was in breach of 3 rules of racing. Firstly, that the horse ran with a prohibited substance in his metabolism. Secondly, that he was responsible. And thirdly, that he'd misled the stewards in his initial interview with racecourse security. So, Cavi's Clown, owned by Mrs. Joe Oliphant, was disqualified from all 3 positive races, with a forfeiture of over £17,000 in prize money. The steroid in question was lorabalin, of which he was injected with 5 cc. Afterwards, David Ellsworth was philosophical about the outcome.
Were you fearing the loss of your licence?
I think a lot of people predicted it.
The question of the use of anabolic steroids in racehorses is highly contentious. The EEC questioned the legality of giving steroids to farm animals, and the racehorse is regarded as a farm animal. This case and its savage sentence are sure to be regarded as a watershed in the veterinary treatment of racehorses.
David Ellsworth fined £17,500 today. Now Rugby League, tonight's John Player Cup quarter-final, Wigan and Hull Kingston Rovers, 16 all on Saturday. Eddie Hemmings has details of what happened in tonight's replay.
Well, quite an atmosphere building up inside Central Park tonight for this replay. Remember, the prize at stake is a place in the semi-final against Bradford Northern at Headingley a week on Saturday. These two sides fought out a thrilling 16-all draw on Sunday, and they have had to make changes to their lineups tonight. Brian Case, the Wigan prop forward who scored a try on Sunday, he's out injured, and Hull Kingston Rovers, well, dear me, they've been decimated by injury. No fewer than 5 changes to the starting lineup from Sunday. And out, Gavin Miller, their influential Australian lock forward, and the recent convert from Rugby Union, David Bishop. That's bound to have an effect on Hull Kingston Rovers here tonight, but we shall see. Well, Rovers patched up side, held out for 15 minutes. But then came a moment of madness from their fullback, Mike Fletcher. Fletcher, lucky not to be sent off here. He only got 10 minutes in the sin bin. And Joe Lydon's penalty gave Wigan the lead. Straight from the kick-off, Wigan took advantage of the extra man. Andy Gregory collected eventually, fed Kevin Iro, and Mark Preston, who scored the winner in the last round, ran in a fine try from fully 85 yards out. Preston's really making a name for himself in the paid ranks just now. That try was converted and the floodgates had opened. Wigan were winning vital possession at the scrum. Man of the match Andy Gregory was having a field day, and this sweeping move across the field ended with Kevin Iro scoring the try that stretched the lead to 12 points. Wigan were really pressing home their advantage now, and Rovers, when they did have a chance, well, they failed to take it. The Wigan forwards were winning almost every scrum. And watch for Andy Gregory here. He features twice in the move that swept Steve Hampson in for the simplest of touchdowns. Lydon converted that one too. And so, by half-time, Wigan had the tie in their pockets. Wigan's running was causing Rovers all sorts of trouble. Ellery Hanley, the Great Britain and Wigan captain, ran half the length of the field, and it was only this fine last-ditch tackle from Richard Pratt that kept him out. But that infringement at the play the ball resulted in another penalty. The lead was now 20 points. But what a run here from Hanley, playing tonight notice at stand-off half, a position that many think is his best. Give Rovers some credit though. Despite all their injuries tonight, they kept plugging away. Bishop and Miller had dominated the first match on Sunday. How they were missed this evening. This was a great driving run from prop Des Harrison. He was the Rovers man of the match. And this was a good period of play for the Humbersiders as they pushed Wigan back into their own 25. Who knows what might have happened had they been able to field a full side. A great high catch from Steve Hampson got possession back for Wigan. And even deep inside their own 25, they were prepared to run the ball out. Andy Gregory is a tireless worker at half-back for Wigan, and in this form there's not a better scrum half in the business. His pass found Nicky Kiss, and it was substitute Ian Geldart who was up in support. This time it's Hanley's break again. Inevitably though, Gregory is in support, and Mark Preston somehow manages to hold on for his second and Wigan's fourth try of the game. Well, with 5 minutes to go, Wigan still kept pouring forward. Tony Iro this time the runner, and Andy Platt, the £170,000 capture from St Helens, was at his side to streak unchallenged to the line. Lydon's fifth goal of the night completed the rout, and Wigan were through to their fourth successive semi-final.
And there they face Bradford Northern. That's on Saturday week. But this Saturday on Grandstand, St Helens versus Widnes in the first semi-final. The whole of the match will be live. Now back to soccer, the final of the Guinness Soccer Six at the GMEX Centre in Manchester. Nottingham Forrest, the title holders, against free scoring but unexpected opposition in Charlton Athletic. John Motson, the commentator.
Defending champions Nottingham Forest won last season's Soccer Six final on penalties. Ronnie Fenton and Liam O'Kane have picked that starting lineup. I wonder if Brian Clough is watching at home. These six shooters from South East London can top up their total prize money to over £50,000 if they win this final, and that's quite big money for Charlton. In fact, it's equivalent to 3 times the amount they took through the gate when they played Nottingham Forest in their last home league game. Referee for the final is Joe Worrell. It's Charlton in grey, playing from left to right. And an indication of the commitment of these two clubs to the Soccer Six tournament for this Guinness top prize is that both chairmen are here. Maurice Roworth of Nottingham Forest and Michael Norris of Charlton Athletic, both in the crowd. Here's Steve Gritt down on the surface for Charlton. John Humphrey. Shirtliff. Gritt. Forrest just grouping behind the ball. They've got to leave one man up, of course. That's Franz Carr. And quite good crowd involvement in this final, even though it's a southern team and a Midland side. Here's Gritt. Humphrey. This is Shirtliff. And Charlton starting by just stroking the ball around, keeping possession. This may be a chance for Mortimer. He turned nicely. Good block by Darren Wassell. This is Gritt. Now Humphrey. It's going to go out to Paul Mortimer again. Steve Gritt. Oh, good save. Steve Sutton fingertipped that one away from Stevie Gritt. Good start to the final. And down there, waiting to come on, all the other players in these 10-man squads. Here's Humphrey. Wide again for Shirtliff, the captain of Charlton. Gritt. Oh, another one, and the same again from the goalkeeper. Lieburn goes in for the rebound. Well, Steve Gritt's firing them in from distance, and Steve Sutton seems equal to the task. So now a change of emphasis as Nottingham Forrest build up. Pearce. And again the England fullback. Neil Webb's over on the far side. Darren Wassell wearing 5. Carr. Pearce. And he's on his other foot this time. Well, it's Ronnie Fenton watching there from the side. 4 minutes left in the first half of the final. Here's Humphrey. Substitution being made by Charlton. Andy Peake coming into the action. This is Gritt. Bit of space, in fact, over on that side for Peake. He's got Gritt square. Well, both these teams showing that they know a bit about defending in Soccer 6 as well as attacking. Here's Peake. Mortimer far side, number 8. Challenged by Wassell. Now, can Gritt get another shot in here? He's tested Sutton twice. This is Humphrey this time. Lieburn goes in for the header, and Wassell did enough to put him off. There's Lenny Lawrence, whose team have adjusted so well to this sort of football. And full marks to him. He's encouraged them to take the competition seriously, and here they are in the final. Bob Boulder just clearing things up there for Charlton. Now then, Carl Lieburn away from Des Walker. That's a powerful run by the big man, and Mortimer's there, and Charlton are in front. Delight down there among the substitutes and coaches. And Paul Mortimer follows in here. Lieburn hits the boards deliberately. That's the ideal way, really, of scoring in Soccer 6. You eliminate the defenders and the goalkeeper really like that, allowing the forward to run onto it and score. Here's Franz Carr, nearly equalised. Paul Mortimer, the 20-year-old, has scored the first goal in the final. That's a free kick. It was Des Walker who's gone down. Lieburn, who made the goal, has come off now. We haven't had any injuries in Soccer 6 this week here in the GMEX, so we hope that's not going to be a serious problem for Des Walker. But he will have to be substituted, and I think it's going to be Terry Wilson, number 9, yes. Pearce! Oh, that wasn't very far away.
Stand, Mutz, play! Stand, Mutz, stand! Well, Adams! Mutz, steady!
A couple of minutes left in the first half. Charlton Athletic 1, Nottingham Forest 0. And attention for Des Walker, who's in some pain there. Humphrey. He's got Michael Bennett just inside here. That's a good turn and a very smart swoop shot for Michael Bennett. Well, they're just sharing a joke there, Des Walker and Neil Webb, but you can see from the perspiration that this is an exhausting game. Coming towards the end of the first half, and Nottingham Forest find themselves a goal behind. Tommy Gaynor on the run, and here's Franz Carr, and Gaynor's in there, Carr's in there, equaliser. Just a couple of seconds before the hooter. You can't get closer to half-time than that. Franz Carr was just in time here. Look how he made the opening and then suddenly saw the opportunity to go in there and finish it off. Half-time in the final of the Guinness Soccer 6. And the score, Charlton Athletic 1, Nottingham Forest 1. So Nottingham Forest now playing from left to right. Franz Carr, who pulled them round just before half-time, is now foraging up there again. Andy Peake with him. There's been a real flavour about this tournament in the GMX these last 4 days. The supporters who've come along and the neutrals have also enjoyed it. This is Webb. The crowd in the arena are kept informed of who's in possession by the commentary of Andy Peebles. And he's not just one of the best disc jockeys in the business, he's also not a bad football commentator. If this was drawn, by the way, it will be penalties. Wedge shot, which is what happened last year when Forest beat Manchester United. But can somebody prevent that from being the way that it should be decided? It's been a high-scoring night overall, so perhaps we can reasonably expect more goals as the second half wears on. Leeburn for Charlton. And now, number 4, David Campbell. Leeburn's coming in from the far side, tackled by Pearce. Nottingham Forest's turn now to build up. The England international, Neil Webb, across to Franz Carr. Pearce is joining the attack now, running onto it. Good effort. Oh, and there's Gaynor. Boulder doing well again. Oh, and back only as far as Pearce, Bob Boulder. Pearce's shot, and David Campbell able to get in the way this time. That's a good pass to Andy Peake. That's not bad either to Leeburn. Peter Shirtliff. On by Mortimer. This is still Mortimer. And this, oh, it went under Leeburn's foot. It was an opportunity for him there. Still might be. Shirtliff. Peake. Campbell. Andy Peake again. Here's Leeburn. Mortimer's in the middle. Back again to Shirtliff. Charlton just probing for the opening. With 4 minutes to go. Shirtliff. And finally, Neil Webb is in, but not for long, because Charlton regained possession immediately. Andy Peake's shot. Shirtliff. Leeburn! Great stop. Oh, splendid stuff by Steve Sutton. Gaynor. Oh, Tommy Gaynor did awfully well there. Franz Carr. They crowded him out. Campbell. There's Leeburn, the target man again for Charlton, up against Darren Wassell. Well, Charlton are having more of the game, there's no doubt about that. This is Shirtliff. He's got it! And the team that Lenny Lawrence has brought here are back in the lead through their captain, Peter Shirtliff, who steered that under the legs, through the legs and under the body of Steve Sutton. Substitutions being made. Franz Carr, just over 3 minutes. Charlton Athletic 2, Nottingham Forest 1. Carr for Forest. Des Walker is back on the arena, even though he was injured in the first half. And it's a break on the far side by John Humphrey. Now, can Forest, the defending champions, save their crown here? It's Carr on the ball, it's Webb making the forward run. He's a little anxious now. Peak. Is the Guinness Trophy going to go down to South East London? That was a good ball out to Peak by Bennett. And it's Bennett again. There goes Leeburn. Oh, he did go there, and Bennett's waiting. He's there. Oh, again Sutton. Bennett! Steve Sutton performing heroics, which he did last year too here. This is Gaynor. Last 2 minutes now. Carr, Forrest still 2-1 down. Gaynor. Oh, he's gone past Shirtliff, and a good stop by Boulder this time. They're looking up anxiously, Charlton, at the clock, which everybody in the arena can see. It's a corner to Nottingham Forest. Headed away by John Humphrey. Shirtliff. Having thrashed Liverpool, Charlton now find themselves in a winning position in the final. Shirtliff. Now, if they don't give the ball away, Charlton, there's every prospect that they're home and dry, because Forest are having to just wait to get possession back, and there can only be about a minute left. Bennett. Peak. Shirtliff. Humphrey. Still Charlton, move it around. Forest have just got Franz Carr left up front. They've just desperately got to win the ball back to try and create another chance for themselves. This is Leeburn. Shirtliff directing operations is a bit short for Humphrey, and now Forest are in. Great chance up front if they can find Carr. Peak got back awfully quickly. Last 30 seconds, Carr. Well, what a climax here to the Guinness Soccer 6 final. Charlton Athletic 2-1 up against Nottingham Forest. Last 15 seconds. Oh, they're giving Boulder a bit of work to do there, his own players. And the spectators are counting down the seconds. Darren Wassell is the time for Forest. Carr. It's all over. A smile on the face of Lenny Lawrence and his players. Peter Shirtliff leads Charlton Athletic to a trophy that they're quite delighted to have won, and what popular champions I think we're going to find they are, because Charlton went about this tournament in the right manner from the moment they arrived on the first day, and they thoroughly deserve the reward, which incidentally is over £50,000 in their case, because they get £30,000 for winning tonight. There was £21,000 for their performance in the qualifying group and the playoff. So there you are. It's worth 3 home gates at Selhurst Park. And don't forget, Charlton are champions. They were 3-0 down here tonight to Liverpool and beat them 6-3. And now in the final, they've beaten Nottingham Forest 2-1. Well done, Lenny Lawrence. The climax to a highly successful Guinness Soccer 6 tournament for 1988. And there are the new champions.
First trophy of the season, and the first trophy in many a long season going to Charlton Athletic. Mustn't leave without reminding you of match of the day, the road to Wembley on Saturday night, action from that day's second round FA Cup ties, but not only the results, but the rewards as well, as shortly after 11 o'clock, live coverage of the third round draw. We'll discover the secrets of the blue velvet bag, how the little clubs have fared, and where the cup favourites will play as the first and second divisions come into the competition. Match of the day is at 10:15, BBC One Saturday evening, with the third round draw shortly after 11. Tonight's headlines: David Ellsworth, the champion national hunt trainer, is fined £17,500 by the Jockey Club for administering a steroid to his horse, Cavi's Clown. Mike Galloway's fifth UEFA Cup goal this season helps Hearts through to their first ever European quarter-final. They were beaten 2-1 by Velez Mostar in Yugoslavia, but went through 3-1 on aggregate. The sides that are joining them: Dinamo Dresden, John Toshak's Real Sociedad, and Bayern Munich, who came back from a 2-goal deficit to knock out Inter Milan. Also through Juventus, Diego Maradona's Napoli, Victoria Bucharest and VfB Stuttgart. The draw for the quarter-finals of all three European competitions is on December the 16th. Jim Smith, Newcastle's new manager, sells John Robertson back to Hearts for £750,000 and buys Kevin Brock from Queen's Park Rangers for £300,000. Mark Ring is dropped by Wales from Saturday's international against Romania after turning up 95 minutes late for training. Nigel Benn could face a middleweight showdown with Michael Watson if he beats David Noel on Saturday. And Steve Davis, well, he crushes Mike Hallett to reach the semi-final of the Everest World Match Play. Steve Davis, the new sports personality of the year, winning that match 9-2. Well, that's it for tonight. We started with the funnies, and we finished with an unlikely achievement. Not many teams give Liverpool a 3-0 lead in their opening match and go on to win the competition. That's what Charlton did tonight, the kind of strange thing that happens in Soccer 6. Good night.